Undefeated in his professional career, but it has been a career with anything but a smooth road against Sugar Baby Rojas. McKinney will need to be impressive in this performance at Atlantic City tonight.
The time is now for Kennedy McKinney. Olympic glory is now 4 years removed, and he acknowledges he must make his move now. He's shown flashes of brilliance along the way, in winning 19 with only a draw to mar his record. He has shown power, too, like here against Adrian Areola. This 26-year-old has all the tools. And with wins like this one, and a big win over Jerome Coffey, he has made many believers. And if he can get over the next hurdle, he'll win over more converts. And perhaps he'll be on track for a world title match. But that next hurdle is veteran Sugar Baby Rojas, a former world champion who has come within a hair twice in the last year or so of winning yet another world title. At the age of 30, he sees a title in his future, and McKinney is his stepping stone.
So Al, let's talk then about the keys to victory.
Well, for these two young men, for Rojas, be more Holmes-like. And what do I mean? I mean he has to be like Larry Holmes, and he has to be the veteran that makes the youngster make mistakes just as Larry Holmes. The big closing number, hey, just like the entertainers. He has got to take McKinney into the later rounds and really do well in the end. When I say seize the moment for McKinney, very important for him to be motivated from the beginning of this match. His whole career, in my opinion, is on the line to some extent tonight. Downstairs, upstairs, I don't mean PBS. I mean use the body and the head equally.
This is for the USBA Junior Featherweight title, and let's talk then about the rules in the United States Boxing Association.
And there are some changes here. No 3 knockdown rule, no standing 8. So remember, that's different from New Jersey. The physician can stop the bout. 10 points to the winner, 9 or less to the loser. 3 judges, no referee figures, and the fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round here.
So it'll be Kennedy McKinney and Sugar Baby Rojas, and to meet him, here's Michael Buck.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Arum and Top Rank Incorporated, along with the undisputed king of beer, Budweiser, present the featured bout of the evening. This bout is sanctioned by the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board, Boxing Commissioner Larry Hazard, Chairman Jerry Gormley, board members Gary Shaw and Richard Harrison, Deputy Commissioners Lawrence Wallace and R. Yogi Hiltner, representing the United States Boxing Association as supervisor at ringside, Marion Muhammad, Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Frank B. Doggett, attending physicians, Dr. Dominic Coletta Jr., and Dr. Charles Wilson. The timekeeper is Arthur Spell. The scoring will be done by 3 judges, Gene Williams, Frank J. Cairo, and Al DeVito. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Harrah's Atlantic City, let's get ready to rumble! 12 rounds of boxing for the USBA Junior Featherweight Championship. The referee for this bout is Rafael Rojas. Pardon me, that's Rafael Ramos. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the red trunks with gold trim and weighing an even 122 pounds. He's fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada. This 1988 U.S. Olympic gold medal champion is undefeated as a professional with a record of 19-0-1, 12 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, the challenger, Kennedy King McKinney. And his opponent fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black trunks with gold trim, also weighing an even 122 pounds. He's fighting out of Miami, Florida, and brings an outstanding professional record of 35 victories with 8 KOs, only 5 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, the USBA Junior Featherweight Champion, Sugar Baby Rojas.
McKinney, Rojas, you received a pre-fight instruction. Do you have any question? Protégete todo el tiempo. Protect yourself at all time. Obedece mi reglas, okay? Obey my commands. Let's go.
So we are set to go. There's a look at Sugar Baby Rojas. A lot of experience in that corner, and the losses that he's had have been to quality opponents.
Boy, have they ever. And he had 2 recently against Welcome Nikita for a world championship, and there's a young man who dreams of fighting for a world championship.
I must say this, Kennedy McKinney looks as fit as I have seen him look in a long time.
And I think you'll agree, this morning he seemed confident, and like he really wanted this
Yeah,
bout.
and there have been times where you and I have spoken with him the morning of a fight, and there's something distant in his eye.
Very focused today and very confident. Not that he's ever lost as a pro, he hasn't, but He's a young man of whom you expect great things, because when he won the Olympic gold in '88, there you see the knockout ratio with McKinney getting a much higher percentage. But Rojas can punch, make no mistake about that. When he won the Olympic gold medal, many believed he was the best boxer on what was a very good U.S. amateur team.
Yeah, he is a guy who you have the feeling could be almost as good as he chooses to be.
Side, right side. Come on, Mac.
Double left hand from Rojas.
Mentioned those two matches with Welcome Nisita, who in February and September of this past year, both 12-round losses, both split decisions, one in Italy, one in South Africa, and Al Banani, the manager of Rojas, said, you know, we just really felt he won it, and it was a bitter loss.
Yeah, well, you and I have talked about, we talk every now and then about decisions that we see here in New Jersey and even in Nevada. Well, you have not seen a decision until you've seen one in Italy or France.
Boy, no, you haven't even come close to seeing one that's bad. And in one of those bouts, one of the judges had a 118-0-11 for Rojas, and the two others scored at 1 point for Nisita. And in the other one, it was also a split.
Neither man able to take any kind of control early in this fight.
And I would expect the first round to be a feeling out process, as it has been. One thing you know McKinney wants to do, he wants to go to the body, and there is a body shot. Jerome Coffey is a common opponent. When McKinney knocked out and Rojas beat over 12, Coffey claims that if you punch to the body against Rojas, it'll have a big advantage. And McKinney is a harder puncher probably than Jerome Coffey.
Right hand up the middle, man.
Body work by Rojas. Coming to the end of the first round, as you said, this has been a feeling out process and a very difficult round to score as a result. We start the second round. Both men struggling with their jab a little bit.
Yeah, and Kennedy McKinney especially, 9 of 51 jabs, while Rojas landed 4 of 14. For McKinney, he would very much like to get that punch in more.
And here are the total numbers. And again, that would indicate pretty much what we said, that it's a feeling out round, especially for Rojas, only threw 32 punches.
And I ended up giving McKinney that round. And of course, when you throw 70 punches to somebody else's 32, you're going to end up with getting more of those rounds, even if your percentage isn't so great. Rojas is really looking for the counter right over what sometimes is a lazy jab of McKinney, and a jab that, as we've noted, isn't always landing to begin with.
And you could tell that McKinney respects Rojas. He realizes he's in there against the guy who has been around the track.
This is a guy who held the WBC championship, beat Santos Leciar, and also defended it once before he lost it to Gilberto Roman. He's been in there with the very best in the junior featherweight division. Nikita, I mentioned, who is current champion of the IBF, who he's battled twice. And at 30, yes, he's been through some wars, but
McKinney ducked into a right hand.
Yeah, and that's the right of Rojas really started to be a factor here. Remember Luigi Computaro, who we had on just a week ago. 2 weeks, yeah. 2 weeks ago. He beat him in April in Atlantic City. Rojas did, beating him in 8, knocking him out.
Effective round so far for Rojas.
No punch, no punch, no punch. Si tira el puño, vamos.
Came up with the left hand and got there.
McKinney now finding more of a home for the left hook and the left uppercut. They're really looking for that punch.
Push him back. Keep it going back.
Straight right from McKinney, which has been mostly his power punch, but then working hard on that left hook also.
End of the second round, and this has been a much better round for Sugar Baby Rojas. We'll be back.
No punch check there. John?
Here is Rojas landing a good left hook, pretty decent left hook to the head of Kennedy McKinney in a round that was pretty close.
It's actually the right hand that really did more damage, I think, for Rojas in that round. But that one good left.
Yeah, McKinney was has been leaving his jab out there a little bit, which is why that right hand's been getting in there. There you see the number of punches. Although, now I ended up giving it, you feel like Rojas might have won that round.
Yeah, I thought he did, actually. I thought he controlled the round. Ring generalship.
And call it that phrase, and the quality of punches possibly as well. So it was a very close round.
One of the more vague terms.
Yeah,
sort of like fresh frozen.
Yeah, I love that phrase. 20 to 18, I have McKinney head, but again, both those rounds pretty close. So don't get too upset if the judges at this point might have a little different. That was a body shot. You could hear that. I think without a mic, you could hear it somewhere into Trenton. You know, it's funny, McKinney, we mentioned he's 4 years removed from the Olympics. He's only 26 years old. Not exactly an ancient mariner. Which would actually make him Ken Griffey Sr., wouldn't it?
That's right. Very good. Ooh, I like that.
Well, we have baseball on this network. I know a few baseball references. There's the counter right by Rojas. It's a punch that he has been getting in with a little more regularity.
No punch.
This is a bout that feels to me like it's building toward, it really does. And that's what I meant. They're both starting to unload bigger punches. There's swelling around the eyes of Kennedy McKinney, I think, underneath those eyes.
I think you make a good point. We touched on it earlier, but McKinney showed Rojas a great deal of respect early in this fight. I thought Rojas came on a little bit in the last round. There was a low blow by Rojas. Now you have the feeling that each man is settling into his own plan.
And both men now looking to land some major league shots. Rojas has found what will work for him. Two things. The overhand right, and there it is. And the left hook to the body. And he's going to keep doing that until McKinney finds a way to stop it. That's what a good veteran journeyman does. It's going to be up to the younger McKinney to do something to counteract, and he did. Good straight left, yeah.
That clearly hurt Rojas, and I'm not sure Rojas has his legs back yet.
Smiling to his corner, but we'll see. Good work by McKinney to go to the body, too. And the mouthpiece of Rojas is gone. They'll look for a momentary break.
Very good round for both men, really.
It was a very good round, very close round, too.
Mira eso. Mira, no va detrás con él, ¿ok? Vamos con eso. Mira a mí. No va detrás.
See Al Banani in there, in Rojas' corner.
No va detrás, sí, porque él puede tocar. Siente. Es su pelea.
Meanwhile, in the corner of Kennedy McKinney, looking at Percy Richardson, one of the wily old veterans. There's a little swelling, as you can see.
Kenny Adams, the former Olympic coach.
When you drop the right hand, you got to come back to the hook. If we drop
Swelling over the right eye is not a good thing.
You still got the hook. Finish up with the hook. Come on. Come on, let him work on it.
But he couldn't have a better guy working on it.
There goes out.
Come on, let's go. Go, baby. Come on, back.
Stay there, McKinney.
That swelling is something that really could become a problem. No question about it.
It's, yeah, even though it's underneath the eye, it's enough that you have to start to worry about it at this juncture in the bout.
The fact of the matter is sometimes swelling like that can be even worse than a cut.
Yes, because it obscures your vision.
And you know Rojas will exploit that. And you can see Rojas with a high percentage in that third round.
And the only reason it got that close is because McKinney hurt him a little toward the end of the round and was able to get some shots in. But the body shots that Rojas threw were excellent in that round, and the overhand rights.
But look for Rojas really to work that jab and work on the eye of Kennedy McKinney. Rojas talking to McKinney in close quarters.
They're both going after it right now.
It's McKinney working the jab.
And in the second round, he got very effective with that punch.
Both those left hands were blocked by McKinney.
This is going to be a match in which each man at different points is going to find something that will work. I think they're both pretty adaptable, both good at adjusting to things. So what you found that will work this round, but might not work the next. There's going to be a lot of adjustment during this bout. See, look there. Rojas was able to land the left hook in the last round. This time, McKinney adjusted, and he's keeping his right hand tucked in better. See, there. That punch isn't landing as good for Rojas.
I'm sure also that eye is dictating a lot of that for McKinney. It is pretty seriously swollen.
The right eye especially, and that's over the eye as opposed to under.
That's the one I meant, yeah.
Yeah.
And the mouthpiece drops again.
Good move by Rafael Ramos.
And they will replace the mouthpiece. When there's a break in the action here in the state of New Jersey, the mouthpiece gets replaced.
It's a rule in most, but great rule in boxing. Yes, great to add that.
Nice left hand by McKinney.
The left,
took a right hand.
I'm sorry, Barry. The left is the key now for McKinney. That's how he hurt Rojas in the last round. And remember, I said in the first round, his left hook has been an improving weapon for him. And he's primarily a right-handed power puncher, McKinney. But uppercut inside. McKinney's having a pretty good round, even though Rojas is being active. He's not landing.
Nice jab work by McKinney also.
McKinney's defense has improved markedly in this round. And he's adjusted to what Rojas is doing.
Yeah, getting away from those looping punches of Rojas now. Coming to the end of the fourth round. Good round for Kennedy McKinney.
The swelling over the eye of Kennedy McKinney. They're putting the end swell on it, which is a cold piece of metal. Basically, it takes the swelling down. We'll see how well that works.
I'll tell you, when he came out, it still is in pretty bad shape. You can see it a little bit there. Look at McKinney throwing many more punches, a lower percentage rate, but he's landed 10 more than Rojas.
And he is starting to pick things up in terms of accuracy. I thought in that last round his accuracy level was much better. Very precise with his punches, like that. Countering with the right very well now, McKinney. This is a bout in which I mentioned things change almost by the minute, and it does, because these are two clever guys in there.
After 4 rounds on your card, 2-point lead for McKinney.
Got McKinney head, and I know the punches are very close.
Head clash of heads there.
And you could make the case for Rojas winning more. Of course, if you make it 1 round different there, it ends up being even.
Yeah, I think you really could. I think there's been a lot of rounds that are close enough that arguably you could give them to either man.
Well, and you were making the case for round 2, I think it was, for Rojas. So they want a double jab from McKinney and then the right hand. He's throwing singular jabs. There's the double. Now they wanted the right behind it and then the left hook following that.
And again, a clash of heads. And a low blow at the same time. Second warning for the low blow.
Of course, Rojas wants to be a body puncher. That's one area McKinney hasn't done too much of, as much as I thought he might, the body work.
Break clean. Come on, no punches.
Rojas coming in with his head a little bit more in this round.
in the lead right hand, and that's why I get hit with that lead right hand by McKinney.
Nice shot by McKinney there, and that drove Rojas back into the ropes.
And look at the body work from McKinney, how effective it is.
Nice combination again, set up by the jab.
And then a right to the body. That's precision work by McKinney. Again, a low blow by Rojas. He may get a point deducted.
Yes. And that could be a very big point because McKinney is probably winning the round.
So it would almost assuredly make it a 2-point round, I would think.
Watch your head, don't pull it, don't push it.
Oh, again. Very low by Rojas.
Come on, let the right hand.
Let me tell you, when Rojas throws that right, Barry, he is throwing it with a lot of force and his, as they say in the gym, bad intentions.
He's been throwing almost all his punches like that, and he's really forsaken the jab in the last couple of rounds. Good round for Kennedy McKinney, and with the point, of course, that would make it, as you said, a 2-point round.
Hold still, baby. You got to hold still, boy. You got to let him work on you, okay?
And that eye is no worse than it has been.
Don't push the head, okay?
Now keep both the shots working. You got to work on both sides. And you didn't step up. You didn't step up enough then. You didn't step up enough then with the shots, okay? Step up. The rib shots is hurting him, but you got to give me one to the left side. Dip down underneath. And when you dip and you make him miss, I want you to make him play, okay? You understand me? Yes, sir. Turn the left hand short underneath, back over the top of the hook and give me a sharp right hand, okay? Give me the chopping right hand. You good, baby. You good. No problem. Take it down, relax, hold still until the bell rings.
Well, you heard Ken Adams. He wants body work, and we talked about that in the last round.
And Kennedy McKinney working off the jab.
Much more effective. 20 out of 41 in the last round landed from McKinney, and Rojas 1 of 15. And you mentioned it. You said he's forsaken the jab. He certainly has. Loading up on those punches.
And wow. There's the 5th round. What a difference.
And added to that, the point taken away from Rojas. We mentioned that Rojas had been in against champions, had been a WBC champion himself, has been in 7 world title matches. And you can see that from the way he's boxing. He's very experienced. And you knew it would be a very tough outing for Kennedy McKinney, and even though he's ahead, it has been difficult because Rojas is a good boxer. The jab really making a difference for McKinney, even when it doesn't land all the time.
But the respect that McKinney showed Rojas early in the fight is not there. McKinney obviously feels he's on equal footing here.
Yeah, I think he knows, first of all, he knows Rojas is still dangerous. He knows he can hurt Rojas. And he even knows that in some instances he can outthink him. And that's not too easy.
Double left hand from Rojas.
One of the things that was working for Rojas earlier in the match was that left hook to the body and also the right. Now there he's trying to get back to that left hook. And also the overhand right. He hasn't been able to use those weapons as much in the last several rounds.
And the eye of Kennedy McKinney no worse than it was. In fact, if anything, it's a little bit better than it was after the 3rd round.
There's the body work they want. But Ken Adams reminded Kennedy McKinney, don't just throw the right to the body. I want the left hand on the other side of the ribs also.
Almost a full takedown by Kennedy McKinney.
Up and down with it, up and down.
You can notice the advertising for an interior decorator in blue on black trunks. Most of it on the inseam of Sugar Baby Roll. I want that guy doing my living room. I don't know about you.
Let's see, we've insulted now interior designers, the fashion-conscious trunks of Michael Ward. Who else can we get in trouble with?
I don't know.
It only shows what eclectic guys we are, though.
That's true.
Good right by Kennedy McKinney.
We read more than Ring Magazine.
That's right.
And the eye now of McKinney a little bit worse. A little bit better round for Rojas, but I'm not quite sure it was enough. We'll be back with more from Atlantic City after this. Time since that loss to Ray Mercer a couple of months ago. He'll face Bobby Quarry. Is he brother of Jerry Quarry?
Yes, he is indeed.
And Tony Tubbs also on that card, trying to get back into the heavyweight picture, but then isn't everybody. 9 o'clock Eastern time, 1 week from tonight, we'll be in Las Vegas. You could see the eye of Kennedy McKinney. As we mentioned at the end of the last round, it is appreciably worse right now.
And that is with them, you know, Percy Richardson working that end swell overtime.
I really do feel that that could be a factor in the fight, because Rojas, when he gets in close quarters, does throw that outside in left hand.
Yeah.
And if you can't see it coming, it could really be a problem for McKinney.
You can see how much he's thinking about working it right there.
These are the jabs through the first 6 rounds. McKinney really winning the fight on his jab.
And you would expect him to, but I'm sure he would like it better than the 34% percentage of lands. But a lot of that has to do with Rojas, too, who is very tricky and a good defensive boxer. I think if Rojas could get that left hook to the body going again, he would then be able to bring it up to the head a little easier and take advantage of the vision problems that McKinney may be having with the right eye.
Rojas not trying to work the jab again. He had forgotten about it for a couple of rounds.
The left's getting in by Rojas. I also think the one thing McKinney would have liked to have done a little more of at this point of the fight is have done more body work. And tested the theory of Jerome Coffey.
It also seems that at times Rojas kind of gets mesmerized by McKinney and is fighting him really at McKinney's range.
I agree. Instead of coming in and really making this into more of a brawling effort, it's not that Rojas is just a brawler, it's just that he would like a little faster paced bout.
And he's more effective when he can get inside the jab of McKinney.
Yes. See graphically how that right eye is so swollen for McKinney.
And there's the jab of Rojas. And there was a right hand behind the jab. And there was a right hand by McKinney.
And what would you call that dance?
I'm not quite sure, actually.
Is that the karaoke?
Might have been the karaoke.
No, we're too young to know what the karaoke is. A round in which things have heated up, and yet, oddly, the number of actual effective punches isn't that great. Tough round to score.
Another tough round to score. End of 7 rounds. Kennedy McKinney and Sugar Baby Rojas will be back.
Throwing this combination and then say, have you seen the karaoke? It's not a foxtrot or a polka. Ooh. See? That's what it is. That's the song that made that famous.
Fantasia, was it?
I'm sure all of America desperately needed that. Okay, maybe it wasn't a karaoke. Anyway, this scoring, and I got to tell you, yes, I have Kennedy McKinney ahead by 6 points, and I will stand by it. Remember the point that was deducted from Rojas, but it doesn't feel like a 6-point fight, does it?
No, it really doesn't.
You know, I have to say that feels right to me.
Nice combination by Kennedy McKinney. McKinney doing a win or lose, fighting, as you said, a very creditable fight. This is our main event. It's a battle for the USBA Junior Featherweight title. Kennedy McKinney in the red trunks, the Olympic champion back in 1988. In what I really feel is his most impressive performance as a professional, at least in the fights that I've seen him in, and I've seen most of them.
And he's in against the best guy he's fought, a former world champion, as I mentioned, came within just a hair of winning the world title twice last year against Welcome Nikita. And you can feel, I think, in Kennedy McKinney, a resolve. He's got a badly swollen right eye. That was an excellent right hand. He wants this very badly.
Yeah, this is a fight that he's really going after, and I've seen Kennedy McKinney in the past just sort of go through the motions and get a W.
And that's what I think everybody feels. And Rojas standing in there throwing bombs to the body and the head, so he has not given up on this bout at all. And he knows, we talk a lot about McKinney. For Rojas, this is a pivotal bout. A loss here would put him down yet another notch, and getting another title shot in any of the divisions might be difficult.
Stay back clean, both of you.
And again, a warning for low blows by Rafael Ramos. Nice left hand by McKinney.
After the lead right, good combination by McKinney. And again, you hit on it earlier. If Rojas was using his jab just a little bit more, some of those wild shots might be getting there. It's not that he lives and dies by the jab, but some of it would help him. And McKinney has stayed away from those body shots. Chopping right by Rojas, but this has been a round in which the precision punching of McKinney has been effective.
Lots of combinations, too, by Kennedy McKinney in this round. Excellent round for McKinney. And McKinney building up what is getting to be in the category of insurmountable lead. And as you said, not that lopsided a fight, but nonetheless, McKinney doing more than enough to win almost every round.
Usted es 9. Usted no puede.
That's Al Bonatti, who is speaking Spanish in that corner.
Más agresivo. ¿Entiende qué yo dice?
Al has had some rocking. That's not Al, but it's an interesting observer in the ring.
To the right side.
There's Kennedy McKinney.
Hey, the right side is open for you, okay? The right side is open. Right body shot? Right body shot. Now, once again, once you slip underneath the wide hooks. Okay, there you go. Take this one down. You go, okay, first?
And a reminder that when we get out of here, great champion.
Tremendous potential, but obviously other problems. It's nice to focus in here on two boxers who are doing very well in the ring. And in Kennedy McKinney's case has helped clean up his act outside the ring as well.
Through the first 8 rounds, you can see how much McKinney is taking charge of this fight.
Yeah, and they're landing at the same percentage, but McKinney throwing so many more. And the jab's been a very nice weapon for McKinney. And you know what else, Barry? He's throwing so many combinations. Kennedy McKinney has always been a great combination puncher, and at times, like almost every boxer, has not done it to the extent that everyone would like, but he is doing it tonight. And doing it with that badly swollen right eye. There's an intensity in this performance. We said it before, not to belabor the issue, that we haven't seen from Kennedy McKinney.
Absolutely. Even from the opening bell, as we said, when we saw him this morning, he just seemed to be a guy who had his mind on business a lot more than he has in the past.
And McKinney now able to box against Ross. He knows he's got to be pretty far ahead. And so if he wants to box like this, it's a plus for him.
Yeah, you can just see his confidence really surging from about the 4th round on.
He almost doesn't have to mix it up with Rojas if he doesn't want to too much.
Nice right hand, straight right hand. And I think because he had the swollen eye early in the fight too, it will make this win, assuming it is, that much more impressive.
Yeah, I think it definitely has, and because it's provided one more obstacle for him. And the theory about McKinney, if the people that would be negative about him would say, well, he's a front runner. When faced with adversity, he might not respond. So far, he's responded extremely well tonight.
Well, I think the eye falls in the category of adversity.
Yes, I would say so. And Rojas still throwing punches. It's not like he's stopped. He's just not able to land as effectively.
And he's not getting, as you said earlier, he's not getting blown away, really. It's just that McKinney is doing enough to win every round.
He's in these rounds, but not enough, not nearly enough to win most of them. Low blow again by Rojas. Remember, a point was deducted back in the 5th round for that.
Little backhand and then a left hand.
He actually turned southpaw to do that.
Looked to me like he almost slapped him backhanded with the right hand.
Wait, don't worry. Take your time.
Move with your free hand. Pull these trunks out. Free hand.
Take your time. Take your time. Relax a little bit.
Round 10 coming up.
Round number 10. You got 3 more. Now, no problem doing the same thing. Let's not throw the jab to the body again. Okay, I don't like this shot. Coming too close to the right hand. Forget about that one. Okay. Everything else is working. Feint your jab. Drop the right hand out. Come back with the hook. Move back to the right. Feint both sides. Drop the right hand. Okay. But don't forget about the body though. Okay.
Now here's where Kennedy bangs him with the right, and then there's the straight right hand. And that has been a weapon that has really helped him. Here, toward the end of the round, here's what we were talking about. Well, it looked like a backhand, but it really wasn't. He almost turned, and then he hit him with a straight jab.
That's right, using the Western grip.
And why am I gesturing for you? No one can see this. I'm gesturing on the jab went, and no one at home can possibly see that.
Imagine, if you will, Al Bernstein, right hand extended.
Pretend this is radio, okay? We do sometimes.
In the 9th round, then here's what's been happening in this fight.
And there, you know, that is really a good example. That's really the perfect example of what this fight is. The same percentage being landed, but so many fewer thrown by Rojas.
Yeah, Rojas is just going to have to find something that has not been there, and I'm not sure it will be there. And you can see he will need to whack McKinney out.
Certainly the way I'm seeing the bout, and we'll see. And even if you make the case, one of the rounds I know you were feeling maybe Rojas won, there are 1 or 2 that might go to him, but I can't imagine that too many would.
Nice right hand.
That stunned him, I think. At least knocked him off balance.
Three jabs by Rojas.
This is a world-class performance by McKinney against a world-class fighter.
Let him go, let him go. Take back.
Yeah, tonight, Kennedy McKinney really looking like the fighter that everyone around him, I think, hoped that he would be following the Olympic Games.
And he's achieved that after, you know, having some ups and downs. But the ability was never questioned. And when you have the ability, if you get the intensity and the wherewithal, you can make it happen.
And this is not to say that he's been losing fights.
No.
He's won all his fights, and he's had 12 knockouts along the way with just the 1 draw. But he's made it a little tougher on himself than he's really needed to. But not tonight.
And still, Rojas hardly giving up, throwing hard punches.
I think that left hand might have hurt Rojas.
Yeah. He was stunned earlier in the round.
So you can put this round on to Kennedy McKinney's side of the ledger also. End of 10, we're going 12, and Kennedy McKinney's in complete control. Start the 11th round, and Sugar Baby Rojas is going to have to knock his man out. He's shown no any indication of being able to do that so far. McKinney has just owned the fight since about the 4th round.
And the percentages stay the same pretty much, but the numbers are so big in behalf of Kennedy McKinney.
So, Al, who are those junior featherweight champions?
Funny you should ask, Kabir. And I know they're on the lips of everybody. I mentioned, of course, welcome Nikita. He's the IBF champion, and that's the guy that both these men are shooting for. Rojas would love a rematch again, and McKinney's people feel that's the man they should go after. Daniel Zaragoza, who is the WBC champ, is going to fight Tracy Harris-Patterson probably in May. That should be intriguing.
Yeah, there's a guy who's waited a long time for a shot.
Very much so. And Raul Perez is the WBA champ. So those are the champions in this division, and a good bunch.
Raul Perez is the WBA champion in every division.
Every single one, yes. Except for the cruiserweight where...
Oh, yes. Sugar Ramos.
Sugar De Leon.
Sugar De Leon. That's what I meant. I meant that.
Set you up for these lines.
I know, that's true. I couldn't remember his name before either.
That's right. No, Sugar De Leon is not the cruiserweight champ, but he was for about 50 years, as Barry has pointed out. Well, now, this is a time in the fight where Rojas feels he's been 12 many, many times. This should be his time, but it isn't ending up being. This is as far as Kennedy McKinney has ever gone. He's never been into the 11th round, but Kennedy is boxing smartly, using all his wile, and getting by.
Yeah, and he really hasn't lost anything either. Kennedy McKinney doesn't seem the least bit fatigued to me.
No punches. Come on, wait. Hold it. Let's go.
Well, if you wanted a confidence-building performance to set the tone for looking for a world title, this has to be it.
And you like to see that. Kennedy McKinney, one of the nicer guys amongst the host of nice people in the sport of boxing, amongst the fighters.
Yeah, and you have to say that since he has overcome the drug problem and gotten himself back into things here, it's a nice story.
Yeah, you can't help but root for him.
And you know what's intriguing about Sugar Baby Ramos? The thing is...
Or Rojas.
Ramos. See, you got me saying Ramos.
Maybe it's De Leon.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the first time I've done that tonight. I'm just going to blame it on you, huh? The thing about him is he's not a spent fighter. He's not used up. He's taking a beating here tonight, but it's not for lack of his trying or his skills.
And McKinney right now really administering a beating to Rojas. He's had Rojas hurt a couple of times. Nice combination. Big round.
Usted espera. Give me a lot of water. Venga aquí. Venga aquí a mí. Venga aquí a mí. Venga. Usted tiene que knock you. Este niño usted pierde el título. ¿Siente? ¿Cómo siente?
Here is Kennedy McKinney with the straight right hand. It's been an excellent weapon for him, just as the left hook has been, just as the jab has been, just as the uppercut has been.
Keep working, no problem with working. As a matter of fact, the key is to back him up, stay up under the shots, don't get careless, okay? Take some water down. This is it, baby. Finish strong, don't take no chance. That is the key, okay? Don't get careless.
Ladies and gentlemen, here in Harris, Atlantic City, this is the 12th and final round. How about a round of applause?
Nice. Kenny Adams still wearing his jammies.
It's kind of a casual outfit that Kenny has on. I'm going to tell him he said that, too.
He'll hear it, don't worry.
Yeah.
In the 11th round, more of saying McKinney is just taking complete control of this fight. He had Rojas hurt a couple of times. You heard the round of applause he got when he came out for this final round, and it is well-deserved tonight. And Kenny Adams, who we kid about a moment ago, is to be congratulated for getting his fighter ready to fight the biggest fight of his young life.
Yeah, they did a very nice job of preparation, and McKinney worked very hard.
And your card, Al, is just about a shutout for McKinney.
The jab of McKinney, just so effective. And Rojas with a good left hook to the body. Now, make no mistake, Rojas is still dangerous. He's throwing his punches hard with good leverage.
But McKinney is just doing everything right. McKinney has taken a quantum leap forward in this fight.
Very much so. And in both skills, in determination, and all the other intangibles you'd like to throw in.
Nice combination by McKinney again. How many times have we said that?
One of his stablemates, Eddie Cook, will fight for the World Bantamweight Championship March 15th on ESPN. A World Championship match right here on ESPN.
Hard to believe.
Did you ever think you'd see the day?
Got over that hip pointer.
Yes. And now he's healthy, and that's why he's fighting for the world title.
Hit a table on the way out of signing a contract for the championship fight.
He's just cynic.
1 minute. 1 minute.
Well, this has been an artistic endeavor by Kennedy McKinney. The right eye has remained swollen since, what, around the second or third round, really?
Yeah, and credit Percy Richardson with doing a great job on that. And, of course, credit McKinney with defending it very well.
And he has never been able, Rojas, to get to the left and take advantage of that by landing that left hook.
He'll get a big round of applause at the end of this fight, and it will be his just reward. 5 seconds left, and listen to the crowd for Kennedy McKinney.
It's a young man who knows what he has done. He points a glove down to us and says, hey guys, guess what? I did it. And he did.
He did.
There are moments when you see about any athlete go on to a new plateau, right? And that's what we saw tonight.
I think that's absolutely right. And Kennedy McKinney was very close to falling into that also-ran category.
Even with all the wins and no losses and the Olympic gold medal, you could say that because the nature of the drug problem even had been suspended by the Nevada Commission. And now he's literally on the verge of a world title shot.
Yeah, it's a very impressive win for him against, as you said, an opponent who was more than worthy. Total numbers in this fight, the percentages remain the same, but look at McKinney, almost 1,000 punches thrown.
Threw quite a bit. 38% right in there at a decent figure. I'm sure he'd like 45, but 38, there's nothing wrong with it, especially when you're keeping your opponent from landing even close to that.
And I think he got better as the fight went on, too, which says something about him.
And you know what's interesting to me? He managed to execute this victory without throwing too much to the body. That's surprising because I thought that might end up having to be something you would have to do during this match.
We said at the very beginning of the fight that McKinney looked in excellent shape. I think he was. And you really have to hope for this young man that it's a sign of good things to come. Here's Michael Buckley.
Ladies and gentlemen, here in Harris, Atlantic City, we go to the scorecards. Frank J. Cairo scores the bout 120 to 107. Aldovito has it 118 to 109. And Gene Williams scores it 119 to 108 for the winner by unanimous decision. The road from Olympic gold to glory continues for the new USBA Junior Featherweight Champion, Kennedy King McKinney.
So Kennedy McKinney is not just a winner, but a very impressive winner. He's got the USBA championship. There's one more he'd like to get. Back to talk with him after this. Yes, it's a nice belt, but yes, this man would also like to have yet another one. And right now, Kennedy McKinney with Al Bernstein. Al?
Thank you, Barry. Yes, Kennedy McKinney would like to have another belt in addition to this one, but this is a good start. And it's a start with a performance, Kennedy, that in all truth had to feel like the best of your pro career.
Yeah, but first of all, I'd like to thank God. Say hello to my mother, Rob McKinney, I love you, to Bevo Covington, and franchise Peter Moore in Las Vegas. It was a good fight. I mean, the guy was a good fighter, but I was in good shape. Coach Evan trained me. I had 5 weeks to prepare for this fight because I knew if I won this fight, then I was going to be a world title shot right after this. So I had to come in with this fight to have a good showing. That way, it won't be no doubt, hey, I should be #1 contender right now.
I have to tell you, this morning, it seemed as we were talking to you, you felt like you were more intense about this fight than any other fight that you've been involved in. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, it is, because I was in great shape. I mean, we trained. Coach Adam got into my butt. He made me work. He made me run. He did the right thing. I was in perfect shape. And thanks to him, I was in.
All right, a quick report card from Ken Adams.
Hey, I had to give him an A. I mean, he really looked good. He did what we asked him. That's the key.
All right. Akbar Muhammad, who's managing Kennedy McKinney, can you get him right into a world title match?
I think that's exactly what we're looking for. I think he showed tonight. He beat a guy tonight, 2-time world champion. He shows he's ready. I mean, we're just ready to go. Welcome Masita. That's the guy we want. That's the guy we want.
I thought you were going to say that. All right. They want to issue a welcome and to him, congratulations.
Thanks a lot. I did it, everybody.
Boy, he did do it. And he did it in a fashion that was very special. Kennedy McKinney taking that next step up to another plateau. We've got one more plateau, a short one, albeit, when we come back.
Harris at Atlantic City. The main event is now over. We have a new USBA junior featherweight champion by the name of Kennedy McKinney. You know, we seem to use the term last hurrah for a lot of fighters. We usually use it when a fighter's really kind of at the end of the rope. That wasn't so much the case with Kennedy McKinney from a boxing point of view, but maybe from an outside the ring point of view. Boy, did he make a lot of believers tonight.
He needed it very badly, and didn't you sense when I was talking to him that he knew he needed it very badly? He said, I did it, right? As if, you know, to reaffirm to himself. Very good performance by him. We talked about the intensity. He's always had those skills. It was putting them all together and using them throughout a fight. And I'll tell you what, I think he's ready for a world title match. Welcome.